Are you looking for the fastest route to pack on some muscle? Well, you come to the right place. Today I'm going to give you 3 tips on how to pack on muscle fast. With there being a long list of tips and tricks of how to pack on muscle fast, I'm going to give you my 3 top fastest ways to pack on some muscle. These 3 tips are not only going to help you pack on muscle fast, but also build strength. First, I'm going to talk about progressive overload training. Progressive overload training involves gradually increasing the intensity or difficulty of a workout over time. There are a few ways to implement progressive overload training though. The first way I'm going to talk about is by adding weight. Let's use bench press for example. If you are able to comfortably perform 3 sets of 10 on the bench press at 135 pounds, then the next time you bench press, you should try going up to 140 pounds or 145 pounds by using 2.5 plates or the 5-pound plate, depending on what your gym has to offer. Another way to implement progressive overload training is by adding extra reps at the end of your set. Still going to use bench press for example. If you're able to complete 3 sets of 10, the next time you do bench press, you want to do 3 sets of 11, then the next time 3 sets of 12, and so on and so forth. If you go this route, I recommend going up to 15 to 20 reps per set, then dropping back down to the 8 to 10 rep range and add some more weight on the bar and start over from there. The last way to implement progressive overload training is to add sets. So back to the 3 sets of 10, for example, you would go 4 sets of 10 instead of 3 sets of 10 the next time you go to bench press. The reason I put air quotes around the word last is because there's various ways you can add progressive overload training to your current routine. Another way you can do it is by mixing and matching, adding weight sets or reps. You can do a combination of 2 or all 3 of them. I recommend just sticking to one way of progressive overload training. That way you don't have as many variables and you can track your progress easier. I personally recommend starting with a weight that you can comfortably complete 3 reps of 6 to 8. Then the next time you go to the 8 to 10 rep range, then the 10 to 12 rep range, and then drop back down. And after you drop down your reps, you add more weight. I'm not telling you to do what I would recommend doing, but I want you to do what's comfortable for you and what you feel like you'll get the most progression out of. The second tip that I'm going to give you is tempo training. Tempo training is adding a tempo to your workout routine. Tempo training also aids with building more muscle, improving strength, and aids in fat loss. Essentially, tempo training has to do with the amount of time that your muscle is under tension. If your tempo, still using bench press for example, is 1 second up, 1 second down, so you're just cranking the reps out as fast as possible, that would be a lot easier than if you were to slow down the rep, which a lot of people would call controlling the weight, which I'll be talking about in my next point. If you were to slow the reps down to 3 seconds up, 3 seconds down, then your muscles will be under tension a lot longer than if you were to crank out your 1 second up, 1 second down rep. But keeping in mind that the 3 seconds up, 3 seconds down, your muscles will essentially be under tension most of the exercise versus the 1 second or ½ second that you're cranking out the reps. A slower tempo will force your muscles to work harder and optimize muscle strength, endurance, and growth. As I said before, tempo training is usually referred to as controlling the weight, but this takes me right into my next point, your form. Using proper form will not only help you prevent injury, but it would also make sure that you're using the proper muscles to move the weight. For example, if you want to focus on your chest when you're doing bench press, you want to pull your shoulders back and down, engaging the lat. And it also gives your chest more of a stretch when you're at the bottom position of a bench press. If you're working on your form, it's all about consistency. The more consistent you are with lifting the weight in the same bar path with the same intensity and with the same focus for every rep. With form training, your form will be consistent and it will result in continual strengthening, toning, and performance. And like I said at the beginning of this video, there are a lot of other ways that you can pack on muscle fast or pack on muscle in general, but these are my 3 fastest ways that I know how to pack on muscle fast. It will take time. You do have to be consistent. You do have to come to the gym or go to the gym and work hard, work on it every day or every other day, whichever one works better for your schedule. The hardest part is just to do it, but don't let that stop you from doing what you need to do. But I do have 2 extra bonus tips. The first tip is having a high protein diet. Having a high protein diet aids in muscle recovery and it helps with fat loss. The more muscle that you have on your body tends to burn more calories, and the more protein that you intake makes you get that more full feeling, which allows you or makes you want to eat less. The proteins that I supplement is Optimal Nutrition Gold Standard protein. Flavor doesn't really matter to me. It's the quality of the protein that matters more. And when I use whey protein, I don't just have protein shakes, like 7 protein shakes throughout the day. I usually do 2 to 3 scoops a day, depending on how much food I've had that day or how much food I plan on having that day. But I usually have my breakfast with a protein shake, which has 1 or 2 scoops of protein in it. And it also has my second tip, or supplement if you will, and it's creatine. Creatine monohydrate to be specific. And Moxie has joined me. Creatine monohydrate is thought to improve strength, increase lean muscle mass, and help muscles recover quicker during exercise. I usually mix my creatine in with my protein powder or my protein smoothie at the beginning of the day. I also have creatine in the pre-workout that I take. But no matter which of these methods that you use or choose to implement into your daily routine or weekly routine, I truly believe that you're going to see results in no time at all. But honestly, to see the results that you think you're going to see, you need to take before and after pictures, or before, during, and after pictures, so that way you can actually see the progression over time versus looking in the mirror every day, because sometimes you don't notice the changes that your body actually goes through without taking those progression pictures. More importantly, always remember, keep grinding.